Dante's Boxing Nation. Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Okay, so in my very first reaction to this fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, my post-fight video, at the end of that video, I told you guys this is the beginning of the end for Teofimo Lopez. I said he's going to either get stopped or he's going to either quit on the stool. That's if he has to fight real competition or even decent competition. And then I said Teo is very weak mentally. Psychologically, he is not a strong person. And surprisingly, right after I said that, Teo's own father actually agreed with me, because this is what he ended up saying.
I was 100% sure he was going to win. For some reason, the game plan, my son didn't do what I told him he was supposed to do. His rhythm was supposed to be different, where we were supposed to stop Shakur from doing whatever Shakur does best. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations to him for winning. You know what I'm saying? But that was not my son in there. I think probably the networks and everybody, the media, everything leading up to this fight, everybody already talking that already about Shakur fighting in May, where the winner was supposed to go and fight in May, against whoever it was. So I think that probably got to him, you know what I'm saying? People talking about me being drunk, all that stuff, when he went to the press conference and I wasn't there, I didn't show up because I was resting. And I think all that affected him in this fight, Like a lot of people say, my son is like mentally like easy to, mess with. And how you gonna fight, a fight when everybody wants you to lose? You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know what happened. It just looked like all his powers were not there. Like everything was like that we planned, everything that he did in sparring, everything that we planned to do was not there.
So according to his father, he lost because his son is very weak-minded. And everything that people said about him and people wanted him to lose, that made him lose, because he wasn't strong enough to deal with everything people were saying about him. He said everybody wanted him to lose, not the race fans, and that's the majority of boxing fans. The entire DAZN cast and the entire cast of Ring, they all wanted him to win. I remember the week of the fight, Teofimo, he did an interview. It was a kind of long interview, but in that interview, he said that I'm going against the Roadrunner and I'm the Coyote, right? And the Ring, they decided to put that as the headline, the quote of the interview. He said a lot of stuff, but they decided to put that as the headline quote because that's what they believe. And when I say they, I'm talking about people like Rick Reno, Doug Fisher, Mike Coppinger, Max Kellerman. These are the ones that really push that narrative over there. Like I said, the white media, they have been saying this about black boxers since the inception. They're runners. They're reluctant to engage. They're yellow. When the truth is, for the most part, it's usually the non-black boxers that are moving around the ring the most and not even moving around the ring to set up anything. They're just moving around the ring because they're frustrated and they don't know what to do next. At least the majority of them. Josh Kelly just got a win. He just beat Murder Zaliev. And they're praising him for him constantly running around the ring. 100 miles and running. And he got praised for every step that he ran. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson is fighting heavy on his front foot. And it's Teofimo Lopez fighting on his back foot. Moving around the ring. Matter of fact, by the first round, Teofimo Lopez's back was already touching the ropes. And I've always told you guys, whenever a fighter's back is touching the ropes in the very first round, that's a bad sign, because that means they're most likely going to end up getting walked down, especially in the second half of that fight. And that's kind of what happened in this fight. Shakur, he really gave Teofimo Lopez a beating. And the crazy thing is he was beating his ass just with one hand. I'm telling you guys, man, Teo, he was ready to go in the championship rounds. Shakur could have knocked him out. He just doesn't have that temperament to just go all out like a Terrence Crawford or even a Keyshawn Davis. But he definitely beat the brakes off of Teo for 12 rounds. He had his face, his head all lumped up, blood leaking out everywhere. Teo was already mentally weak before this fight. This fight right here, it just completely mentally broke him. You see, guys, when these boxers lose and they do the post-fight interview while they're still in the ring, the way they're talking and the way they feel, that's kind of like a facade. You don't see the real emotions until they get into the dressing room. That's when they fall apart. That's when they start crying. Just like you seen Lomachenko crying. Just like we saw Ryan Garcia crying in the car after he lost to Rolly Romero. Do you guys remember the TV show The Contender? The very first season was the best season, man. It gave us more of an insight of what a boxer really goes through. It showed us things that we don't usually get to see off camera. And what I mean by that is when these fighters lost, all of them, they did the exact same thing. You know, when they was in the ring, you know, congratulating their opponent, and they look like they're normal. They look like they're not that bothered. And then once they got to the dressing room, every single one of them started to cry, broke down crying. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why they call it blood, sweat, and tears. But Teo has really mentally fallen apart, and I don't know if he can put himself back together. The only way he's going to survive in this sport from now on is if he fights the weakest competition for the rest of his career. They cannot put him in there with any of the top 5 guys at 140. And he will most likely never fight an undefeated BA again for the rest of his career. But there's a very small chance that he might end up fighting someone like a Richardson Hitchens, because I truly believe Hitchens is the weakest link at 140. I think Hitchens is a much better sparring partner than he is as a pro fighter. And listen, when I say this, I'm just comparing him to the top BAs, because Hitchens, you know, he's not even really a BA, he's Haitian. I mean, but with that being said, he probably will still beat Teo as well. I'm just saying, if it comes to any black fighters, I would say Teo's best chance would be against Hitchens. But Teo has been talking about moving up to 147. And if he goes up to 147, he's still going to have problems, because the higher Teo goes up in weight, the worse he looks. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if Teo just surprises everybody and retires. Because I'm telling you, man, this loss to Shakur Stevenson is really, really bothering him. And it's going to take a long time for him to get over it. And I'm going to wrap this video up by saying this. You know, for Teo's father to say on camera that his son is basically mentally weak. Remember, he was in the dressing room with his son after that loss. So he's seen how his son reacted. He's seen how emotional and how defeated his son was. And I feel that's part of the reason why Senior came out and said that his son is mentally weak. And part of that weakness is the envy that Shakur has for black American boxers. He hates them, but he can't beat them, and he never will be able to. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Man, are you tired of paying crazy cable bills? Ditch cable and get the power of Block TV, the ultimate pay-as-you-go alternative to cable TV. Stream all your favorite live sports, boxing, MMA, pay-per-view fights, plus premium channels like Showtime, Stars, and HBO, all in one app. Watch your favorite TV shows and movies. No more switching between Netflix, Hulu, or Max. All for just $35 a month plus tax. Never any contracts. Cancel anytime. And when you first log in, use promo code DBNation in all caps as your password to get 30% off your first month. So to get started, just go to getblocktv.com. Once again, that's getblocktv.com.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes,
Fever blisters, diabetic ulcers.
this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to LODkey.com.
Like them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram.
Anyone who's ever had it understands shoulder pain is no joke. It can keep you up at night. Once it's in pain, it stays in pain all the time. You find yourself popping all kinds of painkillers, and then you find yourself trying to figure out what the problem is. You go see doctors, you go see surgeons, you go see physical therapists, massage therapists. The shoulder in particular has 4 different joints. Any one of those 4 joints can be problematic because you have these different ligaments that wrap around and hold those joints together. And then you have tendons from any one of 20 different muscles that attach to the shoulder blade that can go awry. Muscle and Bone NYC has been around serving many people, getting them out of shoulder pain and all kinds of joint pain since 2012. Contact us at mbnyc.fitness or call us at 917-238-3650. Let's get you out of that pain.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.